Play my darn theme music.
Welcome in. Look, I know that that the game is going on right now, and I will be joining everyone in watching that in a second. Sorry I'm late. I wanted to be here a little bit earlier than this to catch this before the game, actually. But life be life, and sometimes I'm just getting back from Baton Rouge, and I would be remiss to not talk about this because this. We got to do something. We got to do something. The Baton Rouge media has a problem. This Nussmeier news is a sign of exactly the problem that we have when it comes to covering things in the media. Do you frustrating it is for us to turn on what is supposed to be the one news outlet, news source that we have covering the team and get information that we all walk away with second guessing. And then when some news breaks behind the flagship program, the starting quarterback potentially having an injury concern, the people in charge of not reporting news, but finding the stories out and including fans like myself into the topic of conversation by letting us know, based on the sources and relationships that they have, what's going on. And look, I get it. A lot of rumors start, especially in the day and age of the internet that we live in. Rumors bubble up, things take place, stories take shape, and they take narratives of their own. And I get that you got to protect yourself from those things. But if you're supposed to be the guy with the inside information that's earned the trust over the years, then damn it, be the guy. Don't come out here telling people to be calm. Trust your sources. Don't listen to the things that you see on the internet when the whole time you're sitting on a massive story. Who are you saving at that point? Because you, sir, ma'am, are just as bad as the coaches for putting that kid out there, risking himself for further injury, knowing damn well he could not play the position to his fullest capability. You weren't just harming the team. You're harming your reputation at that point too. You had the nerve to sit up there and try to water things down, to try to settle the calm. Don't listen to everything that's floating around out there. It's just on the internet. Nobody has the sources like we have, and blah, blah. It takes years to build up trust. And look, I'm just a guy in an LSU t-shirt with a hat, a camera, and a microphone. I'm not a journalist. Not by a long shot. I'm a fan with a camera. But to you journalists out there, you have a journalistic integrity that you have to stand by. Because when you come out here and you look into a camera and you speak behind the mic, the people on the other side, like myself, who have our AirPods in, our Beats on our head, who have whatever type of headphones that we may have, listening to the things that you say, taking in what you are giving us, you have the responsibility of making sure that you are telling us some part of the truth and not just trying to deceive us. Because at that point, you are killing your credibility. All the work that you put in to earn the trust of the people who supported you is going out the window. Nussmeier coming out yesterday and saying that he's been injured since day 2 of fall camp is the biggest indictment on the Baton Rouge media we have seen in years. All of you are pathetic right now for allowing that story to sit and fester for 6 months. Shout out to the people like Matt Flynn, who in game 1 saw Nussmeier just doesn't quite look right. Not a journalist, but he's a quarterback player. He's a quarterback. He's a player. He can see the mechanics were off. Anybody watching Nussmeier play, you could just tell something was not there. And shout out to him for putting on for his team when he damn well couldn't. That kid lost out on so much just because the people who have a voice to make a difference were being cowards towards a program's administration that changes almost 5 to 6 years on average. You cowtailed to a coaching staff that's not even here anymore. You tuck-tailed on something huge. But we have people who are thousands of miles away writing stories on potential injuries happening in fall camp, and they're not even there. Y'all are wrong for that. Once again, I'm just a guy in a chair behind the camera talking to himself right now. I'm a fan. I'm a consumer of the content that we have. Why? Because that's all we have. But not anymore. The game, it's changing. And it's changing fast. This legacy media is proving itself right now as to why it is dated and dying. Receive all the awards, accolades, and everything else that you want. But y'all are not the only game in town. There are people on the street building actual relationships with individuals. Having sources. Why? Because all a source is now is just somebody you know who's willing to share some information with you. And the access that we have, like you said, Matt Moscona, there's no gatekeeper. So if I know somebody who's sitting on a board who tells me some information, I can turn on a camera and turn on a microphone. And I know the English language enough to finesse it to make sure I'm not revealing who my source is. And look, I'm gonna come out here right now and tell you I don't have any sources. I'm just a fan. But I'm a smart fan. Where there's smoke, there's fire. There were too many people reporting on the potential of Nussmeier having an injury. And the only people who were not saying something was wrong with Nussmeier were the people up in Baton Rouge at 104.5 ESPN. They were trying to stamp it out. But I wonder why. Who did it serve? Who was the beneficiary of that news not being talked about? I don't understand it. But I can tell you as a fan, it knocks down the level of trust that we should have. And then y'all try to come out later and say, well, yeah, we knew what was going on, but we couldn't really say anything. Who do you work for? You either work for LSU or you work for Guarantee Media. Who you work for? What, are you afraid of losing contacts? Well, what happens when the coaching staff changes over? You're going to lose them anyway. How about being more afraid of losing your fan base? Because now they have more options. They have more places to turn to, more content to consume. Like it was said, there are no gatekeepers anymore. And it's not to attack anyone personally, because I think all of y'all are great individuals. I just think how y'all handled this situation was absolutely pathetic. It was cowardice. Excuse my language, it was on some straight up hoe shit. Y'all are down bad for how y'all did that. It's disappointing, man. Because who as fans are we supposed to trust when it comes to reporting on the school, the program, the teams that we love? It's already bad enough that the news itself can't be trusted. Now you telling me we can't trust y'all with talking about sports too? With sports? The worst part about it is I don't even understand why. What are you doing it for? You trot out there on a morning stream and you say, don't worry about it, it's okay. And then you go into the radio show and it's nothing's wrong. Don't listen to everything you see on the internet while you're streaming to the internet and posting on the internet. Don't trust what you see on the internet. Don't trust what you see on the internet. So you're including yourself in that. Especially now. Because now there was an injury. Day 2 of fall camp, this young man couldn't throw. He couldn't throw. And Brian Kelly let y'all in there. Make this make sense for me. Absolutely piss poor way to handle something as a journalist. Where's the integrity at? And do you care about your fans? Or do you just care about your numbers? Because I thought we did this because we love it. At least that's what you're saying every day. The most y'all that get on there, I love doing what you do. And if you love doing what you do, why don't you love telling the truth? Or at least searching it out? You got all the resources. You have all the connections that you could possibly ask for. But yet, we sit up there and we just step over potential stories because of what? It came from somewhere that you didn't know anything about? That's wrong. Y'all all wrong. And now Nuss has to sit up here and fight to get drafted. I hope that he gets a fair shake to make a name for himself in the NFL. Because we robbed him. Of that opportunity. And look, I know that there are some other things that are being said about Nussmeier and his work ethic and this, that, and the third. But anytime you're a quarterback and you cannot do what you naturally have been taught and drilled yourself to do for 2 months, and you still, or for months, and you still roll out there in August, September, and all of October, gutting it out. Credit to you. I can tell you right now, the fan base is splitting. Older audiences are going to stick with what they're familiar with. You will always have a fan base for 104.5 ESPN. But as times continue to change and other platforms continue to grow and other voices like mine continue to be heard, there are chinks in that armor. There are chinks in that armor. And people will now have options to choose who they will turn to get perspectives on their LSU Tigers. And after this, the fans deserve better. Tell the truth. It's free. It costs you nothing. Do what is right. Don't take all these years to build up a fan base, to build up support, just to let it be given away because you don't have the heart to tell the truth. And not even simply tell the truth. To not even leave something as a possibility. That's depressing. That's depressing. I cannot tell you how disappointed it was. How disappointing it was for me to hear Nussmeier say he had been hurt since the second day of fall camp. And then me remembering what someone said, Matt, the morning after the report started coming out that Nuss potentially had an injury. And yeah, I know most people were focused on the ACL. So many people assumed it was an ACL because they said it could have been a season-ending type of injury. And it damn well should have been. But you walk out there and you tell us, nah, it's good. Don't listen to it. It's all right. 6 months later, Nussmeier comes out and says, yeah, I've been hurt since the second day of fall camp. Second day of fall camp? Not the second week of October? What? Y'all wrong, man. Y'all absolutely wrong. The podcasters are coming up. And they have other journalists on that are starting to break through too. And I can't wait for the day to come where we're all collectively the voices for LSU. Because this isn't what the fans deserve. And this damn sure isn't what Nuss deserve. And honestly, for how y'all handled it, Monday needs to start off with an apology. That's all I got for y'all today. Y'all be blessed. God loves you. Wants you to love him back. Be kind. Go Tigers.